but you're looking at number one rush defense in the country and number one against points allowed in the country. Very, very good. Their front is deep, very good. They're very good at every position on the D line. Their linebackers are playing well. Pooh Paul's their leading tackler. He's playing extremely well, and they're just really good defensively. And you think about Ole Miss, you think about offense, and then you go over on offense, and they have Jackson Dart, who's really, really good. Trey Harris, who didn't play last week, but we're expecting him to be there this week. And then the running back has 650 plus yards. So just a really, really good football team.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live on your favorite radio station, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app.
Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
I am a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
And Tommy Kraft.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Light the candle.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
How about this, cowboy?
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Let's stand up and call those.
You know, expectations is a word often tossed around in sports radio. Your preseason expectations, maybe where they came in right, where they came in wrong. I know for me, Arkansas's a game ahead of where I thought they'd be at this point in the season. For Ole Miss fans, they're further behind than what they wanted to be with 2 losses. To call them downtrodden, I think, would be false and incorrect. But, Tommy, I don't know how you feel. I think their fans are a little disappointed with how Ole Miss has played, especially on offense so far this season. They're coming into Fayetteville, where they haven't won since 2008. Lane Kiffin has not won here either. So this is a really intriguing game for both schools come Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, and I think it's I don't say a put-up or shut-up game for Lane Kiffin, but the heat's going to come up on him a little bit if he loses this particular game, I believe. So I think this is really important for Lane Kiffin to to keep the negative fans at bay, because really when you look at Lane Kiffin in his career, it's been a lot more talk and a little less action as far as championships and winning conference titles and being in championship games. This was a season they were thinking they were going to be there. And I can promise you, in this NIL world where you're asking people to give millions of dollars and then the return on investment, which is winning's not there, that makes those conversations a little harder to go back to when you want a renewal.
Well, I feel a little disappointed, like some Arkansas fans may have felt last night, expecting to see your bright, shining, bubbly face this morning. Instead, you're off. And Arkansas fans probably felt the same way about Cal's show last night, thinking, all right, we're gonna get to Sassy Barbecue Grill, we'll see Cal face to face. He's in New York. Now, there is quite a comparison between New York and where you're at in Harrison, Arkansas. I guess I'm just a little bummed this morning, like some Arkansas fans last night.
I did pop by and see you about 5:30 this morning. Before,
2 minutes is not 2 hours,
I
though.
know it.
It's a
I
big
hate to
difference.
disappoint you like that. So I'll make it up to you. How about that?
Bring back some Neighbors Mill bread or something for me, Big C, to make it up for us as best you can.
Wasn't that a story? I was, I was listening a little bit last night and hearing Chuck kind of give behind the scenes this morning that Cal's not at his own radio show because he's at, the World Series, and he's doing his segment or whatever from Brian Cashman's office. That's the superstar you've got as a head coach now.
Yeah, and we could talk about that coming up. Bruce Dan Pradco Fishing's here. We're obviously going to discuss. He's in his Jaden Daniels jersey. No, it's not.
Scary Terry.
Yeah, I was going to say it's McLaurin. I thought you were going to wear the Daniels jersey after the Hail Mary this weekend, but you're in a good mood right now. Your college football team has lost one game. You got the best team potentially in the NFC East in Washington. You got to be a happy man right now.
Life's pretty good right now.
It's not too bad. If you missed it, again, we played this a little bit yesterday.
Comes down to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line, and the ball is caught. It's a miracle.
What a play. What a throw. Tommy, just more pain for the Chicago Bears fans, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I was watching I didn't see it live, but obviously it was one of the top highlights on SportsCenter and all those places. What was that defensive back doing for Chicago?
Tommy,
they're waving to the fans.
Tommy, he explained himself.
I know.
I was supposed to box out 85.
at the beginning of the play was, cheering with some Bears fans, wasn't talking, no fans. It was just cheering with the Bears fans, and the Washington fans reacted how they wanted to. My job was to box out 85, and, when I went up to hit the ball, it was pretty much to knock it down, interceptions, and, especially in a close game like that. So I just tried to make a play for my team.
Well, he did not make a play for his football team, and it was a combination of celebrating / mocking Bruce's Washington Commanders brethren, and instead he ended up tipping the ball back. Who caught that, by the way? I don't
Noah Brown.
Noah Brown.
Yeah.
So, man, bum of the week, bum of the year goes to Tyreek Stevenson for that play.
He's an idiot. You grow up rooting for a team, and it's just they've been bad since the 80s and 90s, and it's just so fun to see something good happen.
Yeah. What were you saying, Big C?
I was just saying Noah Brown's a former Cowboy. That's the best thing he's ever done. That was the best thing he's ever done.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Well, Tommy, how are you doing this morning after your weekend in New Orleans and with the Taylor Swift? You didn't make us aware. Apparently the Smoothie King Center. I heard this. Bo was talking about it this morning. That's where the apparel was sold.
Yeah,
just
I was talking to Bo on the phone. He was like, and his question was, where's she playing at, the Smoothie King Center? It's like, no, dude, she's in the Superdome. She sold it out for 3 nights in a row. Jeez. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, I guess that makes sense. I said, speaking of the Smoothie King Center, that's where her merchandise area is. You had to wait 3 hours in line just to buy a $75 sweatshirt, a $50 T-shirt. I mean, it was they did have stuff inside the Superdome when you got in there, but if you wanted to line up and buy some of her merchandise, you could, but they set it up in the Smoothie King Center. That's how I'm telling you. I've never seen a star like her. It was an unbelievable experience, and I just wish I'd have known the words to any of the songs. It'd have been even more incredible if I'd actually known what I was enjoying.
Taking it all in one step at a time. All right, if you want to jump in.
It was fun. It was fun.
You can jump in with us this morning here at 877-377-6963, Tommy.
Hey, we're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Always the best brands at the best prices. Lee J and Chris and their team do such a great job with taking care of the customer experience. One of the unique things about doing business with Wheels RV is the owners right there. Chris and Lee J are always there on site. So you get, the buck stops with them. So any issue, any question, any hassles at all can quickly be fixed, and you're not going to have any of those problems when you shop at Wheels RV. In fact, they're so confident in their products like Grand Design and Forest River and Brinkley, they back it up with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
My good friend, Brian Cashman, who's the GM of the Yankees, we've been friends for a while now. I'm sitting in his office right now in Yankee Stadium making this phone call. I said, Brian, I need some privacy. He said, well, go in my office. I'm here at the World Series. I'm going to watch some of this game and get back to Arkansas.
They're not on the team. There was no suspension. Yeah, they're not on the team.
You bring a blue-collar, hardworking type style.
And 7 wins.
And the Dodgers dominate Game 3. They're a win away from a world championship.
Meow, meow. This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
I mean, I don't know if you caught Chuck this morning, but we're going to have to compare cats and dogs with Bo and DQ later on in the show. But Dodgers end up taking Game 3 last night. Unfortunately, Cal and Brad were watching the game in person, did not see a win, so the Yankees down 3-0. I don't think we're going to see it 4 days in October at all, if I had to guess. You also heard Sam Pittman, Tommy, probably the most intriguing thing that came out of the press conference yesterday, Ty Washington and Marquise Gums no longer on the team with no way back either. He clarified at the tail end of that press conference. I thought that was an interesting thing that came out of yesterday.
Yeah, and he didn't elaborate on, what had went into it, just violation of team rules, and it was a final decision. But they have not had what I would call a tremendous impact on the season, and that tells you also, in my mind, that he feels like Luke Haas and whatever has been bothering his back and what has kept him limited maybe behind him, because I don't think you would it'd have to be pretty severe to eliminate basically most of your depth at one position and kick them off the team permanently. So tells me he also feels probably really good about where he's moving forward health-wise with Luke Haas.
Well, you think about him and Poshka combined for 4 touchdowns in this last game. That was the best performance from tight ends group collectively this season, at least from a statistic standpoint. So maybe their coach would say, well, they've been blocking all year and whatnot, but maybe there is more of an expansion that we can see in these next 4 games, not just with Luke, but maybe Poshka as well, who's traditionally been a blocking tight end for this team. I say traditionally this year, but maybe that is more in the minds of Bobby Petrino moving forward. Or maybe I'm just making too much out of the worst defense in the SEC, and they just pretty much did whatever they wanted this past weekend.
Yeah, maybe, but this is going to be a different set of challenges this week. Another mature quarterback in this league, and question is, can you rush for another 300-plus yards? Probably not this week, and I don't know that you're going to need that. But, man, it was exciting to see those 2 running backs and your quarterback combine up for all those yards last week against Mississippi State.
The SEC is in an interesting spot right now with Texas A&M being the only undefeated team. You heard Mike Elko there. He gets asked by a reporter. It's like, hey, do you like me because of the blue-collar style? It's like, no, it's because I have 7 wins. And he's right. Texas A&M fans are ecstatic with Mike Elko, and they're happy to see their former Aggie, Dan Campbell, having success for the Detroit Lions as well. We'll get into that. We'll get into our Pradco Pyramid of Power coming up in just a bit.
We're with you, Coach. Win or tie. We're with you all the way, win or tie.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it goes, and you know that as well as I do. That is our opening drive. It's brought to you this morning by our friends at First Financial Mortgage. I was texting Ethan this week, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know 2 people are really happy, Phil Elson and Ethan Adamson, because their Pittsburgh Steelers won last night. They are now 6-2 on the season. Ethan's good at a couple things, cheering for the Steelers, golf, and also mortgages as well. So whether you're refinancing or you're doing this for the first time like I was just a few short months ago, and you're wondering, you're shopping around, hey, which mortgage lender do I trust? Which mortgage lender do I want to talk to? At least give Ethan, Emily, and their team at First Financial Mortgage a try. They have a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Google. Give them a call at 479-782-9300, or you can go online to ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender. I'm curious today of you two, Bruce and Tommy, how close y'all's top 6 teams are going to be. Because sometimes they've been pretty similar, and sometimes I feel like it's the top 3 are usually similar, and it's the last 3 that you guys kind of diversify a little bit.
I think we had hardly anything alike last week, did we, Bruce?
No.
I mean, we had the same group of teams more or less, but I don't think we matched on any of the order last week.
I don't have Vanderbilt in there this week.
Man, they were close to making all of us happy.
Played well.
They did play well. They're for real. I mean, I don't care what anyone wants to say, and it makes sense to me that Vandy's going to have a good program moving forward. Their alumni will support them at all financially. They ought to be competitive to have a decent team in the transfer portal market.
Yeah, it's just they're going to have to go get a Diego Pavia every year. That's obviously a challenge, but that's what it's going to take.
All right, let's get into it. You've been waiting for it all weekend long. It's Bruce and Tommy's Pradco Pyramid of Power Top 16.
Who were the best football teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
All right, who wants to start?
Well, I'll go first. And maybe it's recency bias, but I got Texas A&M at the top. I think anytime you win a battle of undefeated teams in conference play, at least this late in the year, that carries a little extra weight. And Bruce, I got to tell you, with the way that Marcel Reed came in, and the way Turner was playing on defense, and it's particularly A&M's defense, I'm not so sure they couldn't beat Georgia on their home field. I don't know if they could win against Georgia in Athens, but A&M right now, I think, is playing the best football in the SEC.
Well, I don't know about Georgia, but they did beat the brakes off LSU in the second half at home. They made the quarterback change. You got to respect their coaching, their execution, and they look like the best team in the SEC.
Jamie May has also texted in that he has Georgia at number 1. He's got a list here, so we'll react to some of these texts as well.
It's in Jamie May's segment. So you got A&M 1 too?
Did Jamie May watch the Kentucky game?
Yeah.
13-12.
One great.
All right, so we both got A&M number 1. I'm going to guess you've got Georgia at 2. I do.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a tricky game in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville this week. Florida's looking a little better. I don't think that's going to be as easy as some people think.
Yeah, so we agree 1 and 2. A&M and Georgia, and I agree that game will be close for reasons that don't exist, but it will probably go down to the end. I got Tennessee number 3. I think they're better than Texas. I like their orange over the burnt orange, and I think right now Texas is getting exposed a little bit. I like Tennessee at number 3.
Yeah, I'm homering up. Vols were 6-1, had their second open date. We got Kentucky and Mississippi State in front of us before the big Georgia game.
Yep. All right, so I got Texas at number 4. Their schedule still leaves you a lot to wonder about with Texas when you look back at, that Michigan win doesn't look as good now. Obviously, Mississippi State has not had the kind of year. Oklahoma hasn't had the kind of year, and those are their best 3 wins out of their collection after losing to Georgia and then struggling with Vanderbilt. I've got Texas at number 4, but they're trending, in my mind, in the wrong direction at this point.
Yeah, I struggle with number 4 because I think Alabama's looking great. Just one game. But, I got Texas number 4.
All right, I got Bama at 5. After the way LSU just got boat raced in the second half, I've got Bama at 5 this week. 3-2, 6-2 overall, 3-2 in the league. And when you look what's ahead for them, after they just dominated from the get-go Missouri, who didn't have their quarterback for most of the game. Bye week and then LSU. I think Bama right now is the 5th best team in this league.
Bruce and Tommy are going to the principal's office, cheating off each other.
Cheating.
Bama's number 5, looked like its old self, 34-0. Really liked Coach Drink getting shut out. That made me happy.
Well, he just got curb stomped in that game. All right, I got LSU at number 6 because I think they're better than the rest of the teams in this league, and they've proven it on the field against Arkansas. They're better than Ole Miss. We've seen that. So I've got LSU right now as the number 6 team in the SEC.
Yeah, number 6 by default. Next big game in the SEC after this week, November 9th, LSU night game against Alabama in Baton Rouge. That'll be an elimination game.
That will be as well for sure. So A&M Georgia, Tennessee Texas, Bama LSU is the Pradco pyramid of power. We both agree. Ty, where were we right? Where were we wrong?
So I just went ahead and wrote down my order. I would go Georgia, A&M, Texas, Tennessee, LSU above Bama because I think LSU is going to beat them in that week and a half game that you just referenced. And I know that you look at there's very similar, but that's how I'd go. I just think Georgia on a neutral site or at home, I still think they'd win that game in College Station, even though it'd be really close. But it's really hard for me to wrap my mind around Texas A&M being the best team in the league, even though that might be the case. It's pretty close.
I just think it was one quarter, but they were down 28-0 against the Alabama team we're all ridiculing.
Yeah.
I mean, they got plastered in that first quarter and still gave up that last drive after they took the lead. So I can't get that out of my head.
It's hard not to, and especially since it was a true freshman, Ryan Williams, that did the majority of the damage in that game. And Milroe has not looked the same since at all, which is wild.
And I know Nussmeier threw those interceptions and did not have a great game for LSU, but their defense did not handle the speed of Marcel Reed. I've just, in Voss, I've just got to wonder, can LSU handle Milroe and can they handle the speed of that Bama offense this week from their defensive side? So, or not this week, next week on November the 9th. Well, that game is in Baton Rouge.
The difference is they'll prepare for Milroe. I think they got caught flat-footed with that quarterback.
With Marcel Reed.
I think
switched
right.
up. And I think, we saw, and I know Lane Kiffin's not happy that LSU got another night game and Ole Miss did not on the same weekend. But I think that them being at night, and I know they haven't fared well against Nick Saban's Alabama teams, but I think we saw just a few short weeks ago in the Ole Miss game, that was one of the main reasons they won that game. I feel like they have enough energy to get over the top and beat the Rebels in that football game, despite Ole Miss playing better for the majority of that game, I'd say.
And what a great week to have a bye, to stay home and watch some really good games in the SEC. Bama, LSU, and you mentioned Ole Miss and Georgia, both games that'll have a tremendous impact on the 12-team playoff, Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lane Kiffin, getting back to him, just a lot of mouth, a lot of talk, a lot of what he always does, and when it comes down to it, he's not elevating his team to a national spotlight. I mean, they're losing to Kentucky, they're underperforming against LSU. I think their season, as far as a championship, it's over.
I can't see them beat Georgia.
I can't see them beating y'all.
You think they lose this weekend, Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Well, they can't lose another game and remain in any conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, are they going to run the table against the Hogs, the Georgia Bulldogs, Florida, and Mississippi State? I
think they'll be in a dogfight against Mississippi State.
They may go 2-2 in those games.
I just think he's checked out. I mean, their defense is the main. It's weird. It's like Hugh Freeze at Liberty a couple years ago, where he didn't have an offense, but he had great defense. They have a number one scoring D in all of college football, but their offense has been bad, and they haven't played necessarily a great caliber opponents. But their offense is nowhere near they should be with all the weapons they got, like Wells, Harris, Dart's a third year. They haven't gotten close to where the expectations were offensively.
I just think when it comes down to it, the on the field coaching, I don't know if we're seeing it. You let Kentucky come in and kick you around
in Vaught Hemingway.
Kentucky's terrible.
Yeah,
they're terrible.
They lost to Auburn this weekend, Tommy. It was bad, real bad.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if has he checked out, or is there issues? Is there issues beyond beyond the field? Well, we can talk more about that later. Bruce, I know this. The weather's hopefully going to change. A front pushing through. We've still got these warm conditions, which make topwater fishing really good this week.
Cloudy next couple of days. Take off work. My wife, Wyann, will give you a doctor's excuse. PhD at the University of Arkansas. Throw a Boss Pop, Rebel Pop R, Head and Super Spook Jr., Main Lake Points, ends of jetties, topwater.
Find all those at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. They're made in Arkansas, the great state of Arkansas, by Pradco. Bruce, good that we agree 1 through 6 this week, and we'll see if we can come to a resolution next week.
Make sure we sit next to each other in class again next week.
Yeah, no cheating next week.
Yeah.
All right, we got our Hog Update coming up. We'll hear from Sam Pittman on the other side.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Arkansas quarterback Casey Dick, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Li-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Cal was complimentary of what the football team did this weekend in Starkville.
How about that football win?
How about that football win? Tommy, Arkansas scores the most points that they have in an SEC venue since they were in Starkville back in 2016. Nearly a decade it's been that long, and now you take on an Ole Miss team this weekend that's #1 in college football and scoring defense. Quite a contrast between the two Mississippi schools.
Well, and that's why every week's different in this league. I mean, Arkansas with 4 games left, hopefully they score 58 points total in the remaining games. But I would highly doubt you'll touch 58 even in a non-conference game that's left. So enjoy that, but. This week I'm more worried about the 25 they gave up last week. You got to figure out how to shore up some of that stuff.
You heard Pittman a little bit earlier. We'll play this clip again. Here's what he said about Marquise Gums and Ty Washington no longer being on the football team.
They're not on the team. There was no suspension. They're gone. Yeah, they're not on the team.
So my mind always wondered when there's not really an elaboration of what happened or what occurred. My mind always wondered, but you kind of said it's like they must have done something.
I think I have an idea.
What is your idea?
Pure speculation.
Reckless speculation.
The tight end scored 4 touchdowns, and I just think they wanted to be a part of it and they weren't. And they weren't happy. That's what I think. Total speculation.
That's what gets you kicked off the team?
Well, their reaction to it, I'm sure, wasn't a team, wasn't. That's just speculation. It's just so happens that after a game after the other tight ends get 4 touchdowns, they get kicked off. It just
they may, honestly, we don't know but something may have happened that could have been the final straw. But my guess is these kind of things aren't generally a first incident situation.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot more to the story, and there's probably more background than we're privy to.
Pittman mentioned Joe Moore, who's been a backup offensive lineman playing set there, and then also Lassiter, the kid from Warren, that's been playing fullback, playing some tight end there. So it sounds like that's kind of the game plan on what it's going to be like for the tight end position group. I wonder the game plan for the running back room. Here's what Pittman had to say about Rashad Dubinion after his performance this weekend.
Big time. As we know, R-Dub had a suspension. During that suspension, he was outstanding. And then when he came back, had such a great hard-working attitude. And for him to go get right at 100 yards, it was very, very fulfilling, I'm sure, for him, but it was also for me and the team. And I'm just really happy for him. And he's a valuable part of our football team.
Sounds like that Jaquinta Jackson is going to wind up as doubtful on the injury report tomorrow night, Tommy. So running back room's probably going to be heavy Braylon Russell and Rashad Dubinion, and you might get Rodney Hill back too.
Yeah, and you feel he went on to say in his press conference that Jackson will probably be available after the bye. He didn't say ruled him out for this week, but he was point blank with a question: is he done for the year? And he said absolutely not. So you've got 3 really good backs if Dubinion's going to stay straight and get you the kind of average he did. And I don't know that these averages last week can be moved forward, but I really like the stable of backs and having some fresh legs down the stretch with Jackson returning maybe for the Texas game.
That is your Hog Update. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
All right, speaking of friends, you will have some youngsters and friends that stop by the house for Halloween. What are you going to have Halloween stocked up candy-wise, Tommy and Big C?
I don't know what we'll have. Generally, with where my house is, and and when my kids still at that trick or treating age, they're about to run out of that. We don't get a lot of people that come to the house.
Okay.
So, but I always go Butterfingers because you choose your candy based on what I want left over.
Ah, okay.
And you have a bag of the okay stuff to give away, but you always make sure you got tucked away some of the premium stuff you like. That's what you want left over.
Okay. We asked our friend David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi. David, what are you going to stock up at your house when the kids stop by for some trick-or-treating in 2 nights?
I'm kind of with him, man. I mean, you give away – whatever, you get those little, like, the variety pack things.
Yeah.
I think got the Hershey variety packs they've had for ages. But all the peanut butter cup stuff, anything in the peanut butter cup family.
Butterfingers.
Like you got to keep that stuff.
Well, there's always variety at Rath Mitsubishi and Rath Auto Resources. And, David, plus it's the end of the month, man. You're just a vulnerable car dealer that could be taken advantage of these next 3 days.
That's right, man. Yeah, we're right there, man. We are right there on hitting a big number with Mitsubishi and kind of being able to, have some bragging rights with those guys at the Mitsubishi corporate side. So we're really trying to push a few more new car sales out here by the end of the month. And we got good specials going on the used stuff too, man. I mean, we just went through and repriced all of that stuff. All priced to sell. Got some fresh inventory we just traded for off of some of these new car deals. So, if you've been shopping around and you haven't seen something you were looking for, it'd be worth it to swing by because we've got a bunch of fresh stuff in here just over the last, week or so. So the lot looks really good. We got specials going on new and used. Still got the special interest rates are starting at 0.99% for 60 months on the new Outlanders, which is killer. And then, of course, if you don't want to do the special interest rate, you can get up to $3,500 in rebates on those cars too. So a lot of options that kind of suit everybody on that whole thing.
And I bet, David, you have some candy, don't you? I bet you have some candy these next few days for Halloween, right?
We do as of right now, but
okay.
Man,
it's going by fast.
It might get sparse.
It's going by fast. That is David Rath of Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale and Larry Rath with Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith. David, enjoy Halloween, man. Hopefully you'll have some candy left over after Thursday night.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks, guys.
That's our friend David Rath. Coming up here on the Morning Rush, we've got our Morning Rush daily question to get to. Taylon Green won an award from the SEC office we'll tell you about. Plus, another thing to get to here when it comes to Arkansas basketball next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
All right, you go do the research.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hawk fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3001 0 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Looking for a health provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized health care. With their in-house labs, get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
ColorWorks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. ColorWorks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
Jackson's injuries or being unavailable to play. It's pretty clear Arkansas is not going to have a 1,000-yard rusher this year. He sits at 592. What he said doubtful for this week yesterday in the press conference, Ty.
Yep.
So I want to ask this question because we asked last week, would Arkansas have a 1,000-yard rusher? And obviously Jackson's the one that could do it. So will you have a 1,000-yard receiver? Will somebody, and it probably would be Andrew Armstrong, will they eclipse 1,000 yards? In fact, he's really the only one that has a chance to do this. 722 yards through 7 games. He's averaging 103 yards per outing and has just the 1 touchdown. That's still hard to believe. Carpath Social Morning Rush Daily Question, will Andrew Armstrong reach 1,000 yards this season as a wide receiver?
Well, if you're a true Morning Rush listener, you know that this was one of my hot takes before the season, that Andrew would eclipse the 1,000 yards and be only the 5th Razorback in the history of the football program that have done that. So I can't really go back on that statement. And Tommy, you know that there's nothing more I love in this world than being what? This is
right.
Yes, that is correct.
I mean, it would be, but it's so rare.
Correct.
It is so rare.
That is correct. So
I would say the thing you love more than anything is being at a wedding, but anyway, that's a different subject.
It's they're battling for the top, but being right is this. So I think Andrew, the way he's played this season, if you look at last game, I think he had 76 yards. Taylor threw the ball to 9 different guys, but I tend to think that he's going to get it because I think you add in the bowl game, and that's the kind of that I don't know if it's an asterisk in all this, but you're adding on an extra game, so it's going to be 5 games, I think. And so I think he eclipsed 1,000 yards.
If he stays at his average, and you're 76, like you said this last week, he'll be well over the 1,000 at 722 yards right now. So. I think, I don't say it's a lock or a shoe-in because injuries could still play a part in that, and you hope it doesn't. But I still find it hard to believe he's got 49 catches, which the next closest is Satania with 27, then Broden with 14, and Luke Haas with 14 as well. So, I mean, he has to say he's been the go-to guy for Taylor Green's an understatement at this point, but just the 1 touchdown. I guess some of that comes along with, when you're the go-to guy, you get the best defensive assignment from the other side of the ball, but 1 touchdown, 14-7 on the average, 722 yards. I think he will eclipse 1,000. I think it'll be in the regular season without the bowl game. And that's your Morning Rush daily question. Tide's brought to you by our friends at CartPath Social.
Yes, they have their men's leagues going on right now. You can check it out at cartpathsocial.com, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. If you want to check out the #1 golf facility, indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. You can play one over 500 courses right now, and the league play is, again, really popping. I was texting Christian and Nate about it this week. This is something I think a lot of people are going to latch on to. I know the weather's been great for it being the end of October, but as we get into November and December and you don't want to go outside and play golf, then CartPath Social is the perfect place for you. Whether it's corporate events, I know we've got a lot of corporations, we've got a lot of bigwigs listening right now in Northwest Arkansas. Take advantage of an awesome facility right in your own backyard. There's different events. Tommy, listen to these places that you get to play: TPC Scottsdale, Bandon Dunes, Torrey Pine South, Pelican Golf Club, TPC Sawgrass. These are some of the league playing events here in these next couple weeks. Check them out, cartpathsocial.com, the #1 indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. To go off your question, Tommy, do we see more of what Talon did on Saturday moving forward to spread the ball out to 9 different guys, or as the defenses get tougher, does he kind of just lock back in on Andrew in these remaining 3 out of 4 weeks, with the exception of Louisiana Tech?
I think some of this is you had a game that allowed you to play a lot of people, number one. So the score dictated some of that ability to spread the ball out. But I don't see them having, 8 or 9 different targets, at least in the conference games that remain, on your stat sheet at the end of the contest. I think we didn't have a game with that wide a margin, and it kind of started early. Game was, really from the entire second half was not in doubt. You could really argue before then. So, no, I don't expect to see it spread around that much, and particularly now that you've I know they didn't have much on the stat sheet for the season, but you lost 2 of your pass catchers and backup tight ends that we found out yesterday as well.
If you want to jump in, get your thoughts on that question from Tommy, do so at 877-377-6963. As you kind of reflect, we're 2/3 of the way through the season with 8 out of the 12 games you played. If you get a bowl game out of that, it changes the percentage a little bit. But Tommy, I feel like if you played LSU and Texas A&M again, especially the way A&M's playing right now, you'd probably lose both those games. The only game that you look at, you're like, yeah, we should be 6-2, is Oklahoma State. And now with these remaining games, Ole Miss, Texas, Louisiana Tech, and Missouri, I wonder what the thoughts are from you. Is what game should you win of those 4 outside of Louisiana Tech? Here's
the difference. A month ago, you might not have thought the Texas game was truly winnable. You might have hung your hat on the emotion side.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we view Texas a little differently, and you kind of look at the schedule, and it's kind of revealed itself they were being propped up with some teams that weren't playing very good football then. But if you just, let me get your thoughts. Teams that are they trending up, down, or staying the same? Texas A&M. Clearly trending up, right? Playing better football now than they were 2 or 3 weeks ago. Georgia, are they up, down, or the same right now?
Up.
I'd say Texas, down, right?
Yeah.
They're not playing as well. Tennessee, I'd say about the same. They had a bye week. LSU, that's a tough one because they just lost to a really good A&M team, but I'd say about the same. I'd hate to say trending down.
Yeah.
I think Alabama's a team that's trending back up. They just throttled Missouri. And I don't think Missouri's a great team. But then you get to Arkansas. I think Arkansas is starting to kind of gel. Having Kutas back on that offensive line is, I think, huge. Now, Sam did talk yesterday about he's only going to play in 4 games. And I don't know if it'll be – I would suspect it would be the Louisiana Tech game he would sit out, but that's for redshirt purposes. There's 6 different players he's going to, protect their redshirt. You can play in 4 games plus the bowl to do that. But I think he's going to have an impact. I think we saw some of that last week. So I like where Arkansas is at and trending up. Would you say Ole Miss is trending up or down, this week's opponent?
They beat Oklahoma, but
that's
Oklahoma's
not saying a lot this year.
There, and it was 26-14. They didn't have a good showing. Oklahoma's got a good defense. They just have no offense whatsoever. So I would say about the same. If you could argue down, but they're definitely not trending up.
And I'll just bring up Missouri because they're still on the Arkansas schedule at this point. Missouri, they're trending down, and if Cook is out at quarterback, and I know as a hand, and They took him to get X-rayed, and I haven't followed closely enough, but
Yeah.
if he's a problem for the rest of the year, Missouri's got big problems the rest of the year.
Yeah, even though you have never won in Columbia, that is a game I think you'd feel a lot more confident. Not that you're rooting for an injury. I don't know if you caught Brian's take yesterday, but he is actively rooting for Arkansas players to get injured now. I don't know.
Why? I thought Texas was just so much better.
He just is.
Brian's in your head, man. He's living rent free there. isn't he?
No, it's just. I mean, it's one thing to.
You bring him up all the time.
I don't think I do actually.
Well, actually, I was listening yesterday, and you're talking about him calling into the post-game show. I mean, you had like I don't really pay attention that much to what Brian says because would you take advice from Brian? If you had a question about your house or a mortgage or a car, what should I trade my car in? Would Brian be someone you would
I would
call?
trust your advice a lot more than I would heed his.
I'd quit listening to Brian's football advice too. Then
here's a question. He's
just trying. He's getting what he wants. A reaction out of you.
This is a text that John in Russellville just sent us. Arkansas will not lose another game this season. I've seen a lot of improvement on this team. Enough to admit I was wrong about Sam Pittman. And I now support and defend Coach Pittman. We are lucky to have him. Now, I'm going to be honest, John. If they only win one game the rest of the way, I think you're going to revert back to what you had. But I wonder, this is one of the driving points I wanted to hit home this morning. And again, we're only 2/3 of the way through the season. If they lose the next 3 SEC games, we're going to be right back to where they start. But let's say they beat Ole Miss and maybe they beat Missouri or they beat Texas. Like, if you were on the fire Sam Pittman camp, which there was some. There was text, there was callers, there was tweeters, like before the season. Are you now like supporting him and thinking that he's the right guy for the job? Are you still bullish on the idea that no, we need to move on from Sam Pittman? If you have some thoughts on that, jump into 877-377-6963. I just want to know like what the threshold is from a winning standpoint where you would be in one camp and then move across the fence to the other. Like, where is that win total for you as a fan if you were a negative towards Sam Pittman fan? Tommy, what do you think it's at? I mean, it's not 6 and 6.
First of all, I don't think there's a majority of the fans. I think there is a part of the fan base that you describe, and I think we probably give them too much attention, but I think the overwhelming majority of the fan base is in Camp Pittman right now. He's exceeded everyone's even the naysayers' expectations at this point in the season. They're a win away from being bowl eligible and could become bowl eligible the first Saturday of November. Mm-hmm. When's the last time that's happened? When's the last time Arkansas's been bowl eligible? And I know it hadn't happened yet, but if they beat Ole Miss, it'd be bowl eligible the first weekend of December. Would you have to go back to Petrino as head coach? What was it, 15? I don't know if they got there in 15 that early or not either.
I think it was 2 years ago against Ole Miss.
The first weekend of November?
I think you played on the same weekend.
No. That you became bowl eligible that early in the year.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was Ole Miss that weekend.
Point is, it hadn't happened a lot around here in the last 15 years, right? So, I mean, those and again, I don't think we're getting a lot of calls. I'm not hearing a lot of it in my text groups that I'm in and the conversations that I'm involved in. That I think people have backed way off of Sam at this point. I think people are satisfied with the results they've seen this year, and I think what you're going to see is. He's going to be back for another year, and that's going to help recruiting, and it's going to help in the transfer portal come December.
Yeah, which is a big thing. Sam Pittman touched on that a little bit yesterday. Talked about it evening out the SEC, which the SEC and really college football as a whole is evened out, and maybe that's the biggest reason why is the transfer portal.
All right, Dollar Tacos today at Joe's Grill and Cantina. It's Taco Tuesday. Stop by for Dollar Tacos all day long at Joe's Grill. Crispy chicken or crispy beef tacos all day. You can get some sides to go with that as well. Homemade chips and salsa. It is outstanding. They'll have half-price apps and taps for the game on Saturday. That's at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith. We'll start today on Saturday and get you ready for the game with Ole Miss with Arkansas Game Day. Ty is presented by the Stadium Shop. We'll be live at 6 a.m. this Saturday.
6 a.m., bright and early. Can't wait to see Robert, Elizabeth, and Matthews. We get ready for that. That is going to be an outstanding show leading up to this Ole Miss game on Saturday. We'll get to some calls, and then we'll chat with our buddy Tom Murphy in the second hour.
Hey,
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb pages for him.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Check out the new Wacker Newson ST45 at Sharp Equipment. It's bigger, bolder, and is ideal for lifting and loading. The vertical path lift arm allows for easy load placement in demanding applications where reach and height is a requirement. For compact, heavy equipment with a great deal of power, visit them and check out the new Wacker Newson lineup at Sharp Equipment, 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Or call them at 479-242-1406.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Jute Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Jute Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. It'll be a breezy day. A high this afternoon, low 80s with south winds anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Mainly clear. We drop down in the low to mid 60s overnight. Sunny sky Wednesday. A chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm high on Wednesday. And the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
They've always played well on defense, but you're looking at number one rush defense in the country and number one against points allowed in the country. Very, very good. Their front is deep, very good. They're very good at every position on the D line. Their linebackers are playing well. Pooh Paul's their leading tackler. He's playing extremely well, and they're just really good defensively. And you think about Ole Miss, you think about offense, and then you go over on offense, and they have Jackson Dart, who's really, really good. Trey Harris, who didn't play last week, but we're expecting him to be there this week. And then the running back has 650 plus yards. So just a really, really good football team.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live on your favorite radio station, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. With Ty Richardson
I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
and Tommy Kraft.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
By Christian Johnston.
How about this, Cowboy?
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Let's stand up and call those Hogs!
A 1-2 offering from Schmidt. Ready swings and belts the ball right field, hooking toward the corner. Hello, short porch, and hello, Freddie Freeman.
Dodgers up 3-0, unfortunately, for John and Brad Calipari, who were in attendance in New York last night. Started the show, and I'll come back to this. I was a little disappointed. I didn't get to see our friend Tommy Kraft here this morning. It feels like 2.5 weeks without him in studio. He's at our
nice to be missed.
He's at our 104.3 Harrison Studios. Cal was in New York last night doing a little recruiting, taking in the game with his friend Brian Cashman, who's the GM of the New York Yankees. We'll be back in Arkansas very shortly. He made us aware last night.
Well, and team looked really good Friday night, and you know he was standing on the brakes in the post-game press conference trying to slow down expectations of this team. But man, they have got 3 really good guards, and I really like the fact that even though offensively they looked awesome, and 85 points. What did he speak on first? Defense. We got to stay in front of people, and he was really proud of the way that his guards played defensively. So a lot to be excited about, but when you played Purdue last year, you had a lot of excitement there too in the preseason. They played TCU on Friday night in their second and final exhibition
No
game.
TV, right, Tommy? Just radio?
Exactly.
Just the way it was meant to be heard, right?
Yeah, heard right here on your favorite ESPN Arkansas station. Hey, we're brought to you this morning by our friends at Andy's Frozen Custards. We're going to have a little bit more warm weather, and then it's going to cool off. But, man, even in these warm days as we approach November, there's nothing better than a sweet treat from Andy's Frozen Custards. 2 locations in Conway, 1 in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, also in North Little Rock as well on JFK Boulevard. I think I passed by all 5 of those locations driving back yesterday from New Orleans. So you can get a pick 6, their mix and match item where you can pick 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. So stop by this week at Andy's Frozen Custards. Again, Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, 2 in Conway and 1 on JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. That's Andy's Frozen Custards.
Going to chat with Tom Murphy coming up in just 1 sec. Before we do that, Brent's been patiently waiting. Brent, you are on the Morning Rush. Good morning.
Good morning, Tab. The mouth says, you did great on everybody last week. We're 6-4 on our picks.
Heck yeah.
For the high school game.
6-4 is great.
It's above 50%.
It's better than 4-6.
I called
It's
up
better
there
than
too.
4-6.
Yeah. What's up, man?
But I also wanted to say, you were asking about how people feel about Coach Pittman. A coach is only as good as his last game. The fans, if we win Saturday, they'll be high. If we lose to Texas, they'll go low. I thoroughly expect us to win this game Saturday, and I thoroughly expect us to beat Texas the next Saturday, 2 Saturdays from then. So everything will be coming up with roses.
Now, Brent, it's interesting you bring that up. I want to ask you this because I think I have this right. Before the season, I believe you said on these airwaves that you thought Texas was going to curb stomp us, right? You've changed your thoughts on not just the Ole Miss game, but the Texas game, which is perfectly fine, but I just want to make sure I have that right.
You got that 100% accurate, Ty Richardson.
Okay.
And he appreciates you pointing that out too, Ty. He really appreciates it.
But I'm trying to illustrate something because Brent is just it's like he's a microcosm of, I think, how some of this fan base has changed their opinion, not just on the Texas game, but other games this season. I'm not trying to listen. There's been plenty of games I picked over the years. You get what I'm doing there, Brent, right?
Yes, I'm not angry with you. I'll be the first to admit I thought at the beginning of the year, Texas, or in the summer, Texas would curb stomp us. I just think I've watched Texas. They haven't like Ole Miss. They haven't beaten anybody just yet. I mean, they lose to LSU. They beat Little Sisters of the Poor their first 4 games. So I really think that we're tested. We're coming into Ole Miss game confident, and we always play Ole Miss. It's always a tight game. I wish it was a little later in the day than 11 o'clock. Come on, ESPN or ABC, who's carrying this game?
ESPN is carrying this game. Brent, appreciate the call. So Arkansas did get 2 night games in LSU and Tennessee. I know Kiffin's not too happy that LSU gets another night game this weekend. But Tommy, I'm the first to complain about scheduling and game times. But honestly, you've got a pretty good setup so far this year. I mean, you're on ESPN at 11 o'clock. You're on ABC in 2.5 weeks when you play Texas. I think you've been divvied out actually a pretty decent television schedule from that standpoint.
No, I don't have issue with this schedule as far as game times at all. And you've been treated to that. The Texas game's going to be full. I don't know how will this affect the crowd. You've seen 75 plus, I guess, for every home game this year, right? Because I think the largest is still your UAB game, but Tennessee was a big crowd in Fayetteville. LSU was obviously a big crowd, maybe been the smallest of the 3. You'd have to give. They're all very similar numbers. Does this crowd against Ole Miss, will they bring enough to make this 75,000 plus?
I think the game time deters that, Tommy. Now, that being said, if you beat Ole Miss, I think they will be the best of the season against Texas from an attendance standpoint. But I think this weekend it's going to deter it a little bit. But if you're bowl eligible for that Texas game, I think that'll set up like that. Let's ask our friend Tom Murphy about that. He joins us now.
Not only do I not like it, it prevents fans from clapping. You can't use both hands when you're ringing a stupid cowbell. I just think that at some point the SEC ought to put the teeth into it. I think they ought to get over it and slowly enforce it.
Now, Tom, if you can't put teeth into it, Starkville, you'd have to put a tooth into it. That's about as far as we can go.
Oh!
Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Tommy, you're always lying your feet when it comes to zingers. That was great last week. Tom Murphy's with us, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, and brought to you by our friends at the Arkansas Beef Council. We'll tell you the winner of the best burger in Arkansas coming up in a bit, but Tom, starting kind of with what Sam Pittman said yesterday, I know the tight end stuff, we'll get into that in just a little bit, but what did you maybe take away as the biggest thing that Sam Pittman had to say in his presser meeting yesterday?
Good morning, guys. Always a pleasure. I'll get to that, but I got to say that was said last week. I said that, and then Tommy, that was a great one-liner, and you guys have already immortalized it, so kudos to that. 1 week old. Yeah, let's see. I think the injury updates, Jaquindon Jackson's ankle. So if he's not ready to go this week, and it doesn't look that way, then they think he'll be able to come off the open date and be ready for the Texas game. So that's good news. He's a really good back, and as well as Braylon Russell and Rashad Dubinion played last week, having him healthy again only, that bolsters the position. You like that. But let's see, 2 tight ends off the team, Varquez Gums, who did not travel to Starkville, and Ty Washington, who's one of my Georgia kids who I did Hog Future on back in the day. Hate that that's happened, but now they're a little shy at tight end, and I don't know. Hey, the way Patrick Kutas played last weekend, he came off and he played with he had the best blocking grade on the team, and on the pool plays he was mashing people. So they've been kind of touting that when he gets back and he's ready, we got to let him play. And I think that amped up the O-line play last week.
And Pittman said that they're going to try and redshirt him still. I think it's safe to potentially assume that he's going to sit out the Louisiana Tech game because you need him more for SEC play. But, Tom, we've seen this offensive line struggle at times in pass blocking. You mentioned the run. I mean, is he a guy that can have an impact in pass blocking when you go up against some really stout defensive lines here in these next 5 weeks?
Well, he certainly has a chance. I mean, and the thing is, you can sub him out with Blackstock some, and you got yourself 6 operational O linemen, and then there's some other guys that haven't played a ton, like Joe Moore and a couple of others who could help you as well. So I just think it helps to get a fresh body in at this point of the year. When you've kind of other than him, you've kind of managed to avoid major injuries on your roster. There's been a few. The Jalen Braxton one may be the lengthiest, and obviously Kutas, those two. But I don't know. Any time you can supplement with a guy who is a projected starter, and now he looks fresh like he did last week, that's a good thing.
Tom, I thought one of the more interesting conversations you guys had with Sam Pittman yesterday was about I think he said 6 players, and it kind of came up with Patrick Kutas, who they're managing the 4 games they can play in and remain in use of their redshirt season. I thought that was a very interesting and valuable conversation on how they're going to manage some of these guys. And he did let it be known that Patrick Kutas, there will be one game he's not going to be on that offensive line just because they want to preserve his red shirt. He mentioned Kobe Brannon, the true freshman from Fort Smith. I thought that was some interesting information he gave us yesterday.
It was, and Jalen Braxton obviously falls into that mix because he's played 2 games. So if he comes back and he's ready, you get 2 more plus the bowl game with him. And so maybe those are the last 2 or, some combination. And as Ty mentioned, I think, optimally you play Patrick Kutas in the rest of the conference games. Louisiana Tech, you give him a breather there to have him ready for, the Mizzou game. And we'll see how that plays out. But there's a couple of other guys. I meant to go back and look at how many games some of these freshmen who have played, like Bradley Shaw comes to mind. But maybe he's been on special teams all year, and he got some play. In fact, he was in on one of the takeaway plays last weekend. And then there's DNs like Collins and maybe Kavion Henderson who might factor into that mix. But I haven't gone back to see how much they've been playing on special teams and such.
Yeah, and something certainly worth keeping an eye on moving forward. As you gear back up for the balance of the season, you've got a home game this week. You got 3 of your final 4 at home. He talked about that. You went through that stretch early, but now it pays off. And being bowl eligible potentially this Saturday would certainly, I think, allow you to plan for a future that in the last couple of years you hadn't maybe been allowed to plan for long term behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. And, finishing up with all these home games helps you, but you did have that one that got away, the Oklahoma State game that you can't get it back. And, they'd already be bowl eligible now, assuming everything else played out the way it did. If you'd won that game, and they're obviously struggling now, but yeah, there's a lot of positive to look forward to. But these teams, they're all ranked, including this Ole Miss game. There's really interesting matchups to me, both sides of the ball. Ole Miss is so good defensively, like on each level. How will Bobby Petrino try to exploit that? Will they get the same kind of protection they've had in the recent games? Taylor Green's numbers, the last 3 games, unbelievable. He's 70+% completions the last 3, when the 3 before that he was at 49. I mean, that's a crazy improvement. And then on the other side of the ball, how will Ole Miss attack? What will Travis Williams and company do? They gave up a lot of yards on the edge last week, and we know Ole Miss can throw those bubble screens. If you get good blocking and guys don't fit well, they can break, like the first touchdown against Mississippi State, and they can throw over the top with a lot more precision than what we saw from Mississippi State last week. So they're going to be very tough to defend, and, of course, the run game is obviously good too.
Tom Murphy with us, courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council. He's with Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, why has the defense taken a step back in these last 2 weeks, in your opinion?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, maybe some depth problems come to mind. Haven't had all their guys in the secondary, but they're getting them back. I think Sam was truly, like, maybe befuddled a little bit that they didn't fit better on the bubbles and some of that edge stuff. The Mississippi State broke into long gains, and he said 11 explosives. But Georgia and A&M gave up offense to Mississippi State as well. So I think the scheme is in place. And even though it was 400-plus yards, 470 or whatever Mississippi State got, you more than offset that with your takeaways. So, it is frustrating that they gave up the big yardage. LSU they couldn't get to Nussmeier. He was good on the run. And I heard the radio call Saturday night. Nussmeier on the run wasn't as successful against Texas A&M. So they've got to be able to find ways to pressure Jackson Dart. Games at Arkansas. I'm sorry.
No, you finish your thought.
Well, just the games they haven't pressured well, teams like LSU, they've exploited that. And the games they have pressured well, they got a bunch of takeaways.
We saw Arkansas get a big-time win before their first bye against the Tennessee Volunteers. Tom, with Texas coming into town in 2.5 weeks, how important is this game to get a win, considering that coming off byes hasn't been, honestly, a luxury for any SEC team this season?
Yeah, it really hasn't, and that's a real head-scratcher. They just gotta show up. There's been some home games where they haven't played very well, and I think they understand what's at stake if you can get bowl eligible. And, I mean, honestly, I think if they beat ranked Ole Miss team, they will probably end up being in the rankings. I certainly considered long and hard putting Arkansas 25 on my ballot, and I think I went with Vanderbilt, which actually lost last week but played Texas so close. There's just so many 2-loss teams that have bad losses and things like that. So there's certainly – I mean, if they could beat Ole Miss, there's a chance they wind up in the first college football playoff rankings next week.
Wow.
Tom, when you look at the box score here, and you got 58 points scored by the Razorbacks, you look down at third down conversions at 0 for 7, and those two things don't normally go together. How do we, they were 2 for 2 on fourth down conversions, but did not convert a third down in a game that the team scores 58 points.
It's such a wacky stat and it's a number they've been so good at. In fact, I wrote about it today. I think they're still 16th maybe in the country in third down percentage, which is great. I mean, just under 50%. But to go 0 for 7 against a very poor defense is just unbelievable. When Sam Pittman was asked that, it happened to be the first question of the post game. He's like, well, the rest of the plays were really good because they dominated. Wally Hall added it up. I think he said 392 yards on first down. That's enough for a game sometimes, just on first down. They scored a lot of touchdowns on second down, so they didn't get to third down a lot. But when they did, they weren't successful. I mean, they were behind the chains a few times, and also, three of them wound up with field goals, and 2 of them wound up with fourth down conversions. So that only leaves you 2 more that they missed third down, and one of them they were backed up. So there's your explanation.
Yeah, for the season, 51 of 105, or 49% on third down. As you said, 16th in the country, but on fourth down, 8 of 15. Meanwhile, allowing opponents 37%, 40 of 108. So doing okay in that department comparison-wise with opponents. But it just stood out to me, and I knew he was asked about it on Saturday. But those two things rarely, if ever, go together.
That is true. It was just there's something that happens in every game. You're like, wow, as a big-time fan, that was interesting. In that game, I do believe a great team on third down against a horrible defense goes 0 for 7 and scores 58 points. That doesn't add up.
Let me ask you real quick before we go. A&M's atop the lead or atop the league at 5-0 after beating LSU. They got South Carolina, Auburn, and Texas left in their three remaining SEC games. Is it safe for Aggie fans to make their reservations for Atlanta at this point with 3 games to go?
Wow. I mean, in your heads, you're probably thinking that. But if you guys watched the SEC shorts this week, A&M's had this history of, coming up. I don't know. It's just weird. I haven't looked into it that much other than South Carolina's been a tough out. And when you think about it, Arkansas's performance against A&M, other than, losing the opener against Notre Dame, Mike Elko's first game, Arkansas's performance in that game was pretty doggone stout. You can play the comparison game and say, well, UAB, not a stout performance. A couple of other games, what they did LSU game, they didn't match up with, what their game plans and their game flows have been like. But against A&M, they hung in there, obviously had a chance to win the game.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I was like, Tom, great stuff. We got another interesting weekend for the SEC before the bye for the Razorbacks, and we'll talk about it some more on Thursday.
Sounds like a plan. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us. It's brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. They're excited to announce the winner of the inaugural Arkansas Best Burger Contest. It's been a statewide competition. You out there nominated thousands of different burgers in places across the state. They boiled it down to 10 finalists in 5 regions, and they're celebrating the best 100% beef burger prepared right here in Arkansas. The top 2 burgers from each of the 5 regions in the state were selected as the finalists, and the winner of the inaugural Arkansas's Best Burger Contest is the Caveman Burger from Bailey's Family Restaurant in Cave City, Arkansas. Hey, to find out more about the Caveman Burger and Bailey's and the other finalists, visit arkansasbeef.org. That's arkansasbeef.org. And you're going to want to make a trip to Cave City, not just for a watermelon, but for a great burger at Bailey's as well. Tom Murphy, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Tommy, as you asked him about the Texas A&M scenario, which, based on what you're saying, very likely that they end up in the SEC championship, I think about it as I tie it back into Arkansas. Ole Miss is not completely eliminated from the SEC championship, but I don't expect to see them there with Georgia still on their schedule. You got a chance to pretty much eliminate Texas, though, on November the 16th for making it to Atlanta. Now, I know the goal for Razorback fans is to make it to Atlanta at some point down the road and do it like you did in 2006, 02, and 95 as well. But I think that is appealing to Arkansas fans, that you can be the team that prevents Texas from going to Atlanta, Georgia for the SEC championship game.
They get Florida the week ahead on the 9th. Texas is off this week. Yeah, you could do that. Something wild would have to happen at this point for Arkansas to even be in the mix as far as getting there themselves as maybe that second team. But they're playing in some very significant games, one of them being against Texas, and I think the other one this weekend against Ole Miss that does have some bearing, not just on Atlanta, but obviously the college football playoff. Ole Miss still hanging on by a thread. I know at 2-2, but if Ole Miss could run the table the rest of the way on their schedule, I suppose they could find their way in there as well. But you just don't think it's likely with Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and Mississippi State being their last 4. So this game, it's an elimination game for Ole Miss. If they lose, they're completely out of the conversation for everything. Every week they play will be have the same stakes as well. But Arkansas is going to have a say in it just because they're going to play some teams that really have their sights on Atlanta, and obviously beyond that, the college football playoff.
Yeah, and hopefully, again, you can come victorious in at least one of these games. It'd be pretty wild. So they're like everyone, whenever everything are down in the dumps, and I've done this before. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not included in this conversation, but you at one point thought in time that Lane Kiffin might be your next head football coach. If Sam beats him on Saturday, he's 3-2 against him, right? He's 3-2, and the 2 losses on the road have been a 7-point loss and a 1-point loss to Lane Kiffin, which, at least in the eyes of many, is a much better college football coach. But Sam will have that head-to-head advantage if he beats him on Saturday, and I hope it happens. But you were talking earlier about Kiffin's lack of accomplishments. They've won 2 10-plus win seasons. The first coach ever to take Ole Miss to a 10-win regular season was Lane Kiffin. But Tommy, this team had far, far superior expectations on where they would end up, and you could end it completely Saturday starting at 11 o'clock.
And when you lose at home to Kentucky, it's one thing to lose to LSU. It's another thing to lose to Kentucky at home, and that's going to stick with him for a while. When you ask people, collectively for tens of millions of dollars to support your NIL and your collective, they don't give you money to lose to Kentucky in football. So, Lane Kiffin lose to Kentucky and Arkansas in their mind, and I don't want to say it's an unforgivable sin, but man, he'd have to probably have to turn around and beat Georgia on your home field next week to get everything right with the football gods in Oxford. So that's the place he doesn't want to find himself, and he could paint his way into a corner with a loss this weekend in Fayetteville.
He'll be in Gainesville next year. I really don't think he's worried about it too much, to be honest. Where a head coach should be in this situation. I do not see him staying in Oxford, Mississippi after this year.
You've been on that for a while. Hey, if you're making plans, maybe, and I know a lot of you are making some plans after watching that exhibition game on Friday night to get up for a basketball game, or maybe it's one of the remaining football games. The Inn at the Mills, the place we always stay. Love it because of the central location, everything, and we want to run up to Rogers or Bentonville for a meal, or go to the Crystal Bridges, or catch a concert at the Amp. It's not a far drive at all. If you want to go to campus, it's 10 minutes or less. It's right in the heart of everything, close to great restaurants, and easy on, easy off access at exit 69 off I-49. Call 443-1800, 479-443-1800, or call Jen and the crew at the Inn at the Mill and book your reservation for your next stay in Northwest Arkansas at the historic Inn at the Mill.
More of the Morning Rush coming up. Your SEC update. Lane Kiffin, Mike Elko, some coaches, what they've had to say this week, including about your starting quarterback and Bobby Petrino.
Follow the show on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
This is former Razorback, wide receiver, and All-American track and field athlete Richard Smith, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Great to be on here with you guys. I think you guys do awesome work, and I really enjoy listening to you.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC buyers. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC has got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Springdale, Fort Smith, and now in Greenland. Always online at burtonpools.com.
Kevin had some positive things to say about your quarterback and offensive coordinator.
We got to do a great job containing him. This guy's as talented and long as they come. And so, we're going to have to do whatever he tries to do, rush really well and contain him and have a really good plan. And Coach Petrino for a long time has done a great job on offense and given people a lot of problems. We played him last year and he did a good job against us. So, like I said, this is a really well-coached team all around. They made major defensive improvements in year one a year ago with their new defensive staff, and they're doing a great job.
Tommy, who faces the bigger challenge on Saturday? Is it Travis Williams in that Ole Miss offense, or is it Ole Miss's DC, Pete Golding, and going up against Bobby Petrino in this Arkansas offense?
That's a good question. I would have to say Travis Williams' bunch probably is the most challenged because they haven't played well in a couple of games.
Yeah.
So they've got the LSU game got exposed on some of the hitch plays, got beaten at some positions and some spots on the edges in the Mississippi State game, even though the game was never really in doubt and doesn't create a lot of fan anxiety. To give up the yards they did and those 25 points, let you know that, hey, things could be a lot worse against a better offense. So I would say it's a good question, but I'd say Arkansas's got the bigger concern with its defense against Ole Miss's offense.
Lane Kiffin also had this to say about them not getting a night game against Georgia.
Playing at night in electric atmospheres is a home field advantage, and tough when you got to do that as a opposing team. So that's been proven for a long time. And so who won at night? LSU gets to play at night again, I guess. Shocker.
Not happy about that. His press conferences are funny, Tommy. When you hear him after game or whatever, win or loss, he'll just say some things that are off the cuff, and that was one of the big things that Ole Miss fans were mad about yesterday, is them not getting a night game.
Well, but who's ever happy about not getting what they want? So, I mean, somebody's going to be mad regardless. Arkansas is playing two games in a row at home, 3 games total, I guess, in a row, or would it be 4? They kick off before noon. So, I mean, I think the 11 a.m. game, from a recruiting standpoint, when it's a home, you don't mind it when it's on the road. You love it. You hate it when it's your home game. So, I mean, nobody's happy about it, but at least you can plan for it now, and you've known for a long time.
Do you know, so you were at Taylor Swift this last weekend. Do you know who Noah Kahan is? Christian, do you know who that is? Anyone?
Nope. No,
I just saw it. I'm just going to read this headline. You can take away what you want to from it. Apparently, his credit card got stolen, and someone bought 15 hot dogs with it at the Kentucky-Auburn game. Figured we'd throw that in our SEC update. 1, I don't know who this artist is, but 2, his credit card got stolen, and the first thing the thief did, apparently, Tommy, was buy 15 hot dogs at this Kentucky-Auburn game that took place.
15, we figure those are about $7 a piece. That's $105 worth of hot dogs.
That's a felony.
A piece.
Jeez Louise, that is a I don't know what amount of money you have to spend or steal in order for that to be a felony. But I just thought
cameras everywhere. How are you going to? I mean, if they'll even, I doubt they investigate it that far. But it's not a good time for criminals anymore. It's hard to get away with stuff with the cameras everywhere.
Now, all right, that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas.
The weather's going to change towards the end of the week. It's the perfect time to be neck deep in your own hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. They've got over 100 hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. They're on sale right now during the warehouse clearance sale, starting at $49.99, and payments as low as $58 a month right now at Burton Pools and Spas. The best with hot spring spas are there. 3 locations to choose from. They're in Springdale, they're in Greenland, and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
We got a text from Preston in Fayetteville. He's asking the question, are we really going to be at the stadium shop from 6 to 8 on Saturday? Preston, we are going to be.
Absolutely.
I'm getting up at, I think my alarm's set for 4:50 on Saturday morning. Cannot wait to get there for a bright and early Arkansas game day. So that is going to be a good time ahead, Tommy.
Yep, and a lot of people be out early, be tailgating, be getting ready. We'll do our Fence Man Friday picks the day ahead, and what'd you say? The line was 6.5 right now, according to Bet Saracen.
What's it at? We said it yesterday. I don't know if it's been updated or not. I always find it curious as the line progresses throughout. It's 7 now, Tommy.
7. So something to keep an eye on there. Brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 is their number. 479. 782-3936, anything involving fencing, gates, or any other project you've got to have done around the home or your business, the Fence Man can do that with powered automatic gates, chain link, custom wood, privacy fences, vinyl fencing, and more. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, so couple things before we turn here on the Morning Rush. I want you to think about what bowl game you think Arkansas is heading to, which you can jump in here. Plus, we've got our Morning Rush CJ's Trivia Tuesday question to get to as well. So if you want a chance to win a $25 gift card to CJ's, you can do so as well. Have you wrapped your mind around bowl season where Arkansas, technically they haven't gotten there yet, but maybe we'll see Larry the Bully Ball after this weekend against Ole Miss. Tommy, Arkansas, I've got the bowls listed. We know about the Liberty Bowl. Arkansas's played there a handful of times. The Vegas Bowl, I think, is in contention this year.
That's an every other year bowl for the SEC.
Correct. So. Texas Bowl in Houston. You got the Gator Bowl in Florida, Music City in Nashville. You're not going to the Citrus Bowl because that's the top SEC team available after the college football playoff is done. Then you got the Birmingham Bowl. And I don't know where the Gasparilla Bowl is. So, and then the Relier Quest Bowl as well. some of the bowls that you've got listed? I know Sam Pittman wouldn't mind spending the holidays and New Year's in Florida. You said any of them?
Any of them would be fine.
Any of them, okay.
After where you've been as a program, I mean, obviously you'd like to wear shorts to the game, but and be somewhere in Florida. That'd be a great reward for this team. But man, when you haven't been to a bowl game in a little while, it's hard to be picky. So I don't want to even count chickens before they hatch here. So let's go get a win. I know everybody's presuming you get at least one. Man, if you can get 2, get to 7, and let's not even get greedy and talk about getting to 8 total wins. But obviously, to get somewhere where you'd really, really, really like to be, you're probably going to need to get 8 wins. So
you want to see Lane Kiffin angry after a loss or Eli Drinkwitz? Can't say both. You say Eli since he hadn't beat him in Columbia yet. He went off this weekend. I don't have the audio in front of me, but he got asked, is there any comparison to what happened in College Station to what happened in Tuscaloosa? Like, no, of course not. And it's like, well, he got blown out in both games. So, yeah, there's kind of a comparison when you get drilled in both venues. So he's not happy. His team is nowhere. That's another coach that had high expectations heading into the season that has not lived up to him through the amount of games they played this fall.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, and then I'm going to tell you about Gaston in a second. If you're looking for some help with the tailgate for this weekend, or if you're going to home gate, call Arts Barbecue, 452-2550. They'll get ready anything you want to carry up on the hill. Get it to you on Friday. If you're leaving early, you can warm it up, or you can take it with you. A lot of people go get barbecue, put it in the ice chest, and then after the game, break it all out, let the traffic thin out, watch games on the TV. That's the way to go. Plus that smoked cheese dip, they'll have that ready with the brisket, and they put the tomatoes and everything in there. It is really, really good for game day as well. And it's not too early to think about Thanksgiving. Smoked turkeys and hams and all the sides. They had to shut it off last year. They had so many orders. So if you're already thinking about the Thanksgiving menu, Arts Barbecue, you should call and get on the list now for your fried or smoked turkey from Arts. 452-2550. I'm in Harrison today at the ESPN 104.3 studios, and not far that direction. I'm pointing kind of to my east here, down 62 and 412. You'll find our friends at Gaston's White River Resort, the place to go to relax and unwind. And I'm telling you, at Gaston's, every time you go there, it's a special treat. It's kind of like just getting off the grid and stepping away from it all. That's why I love Gaston's. They got high-speed internet, which can keep you connected. It keeps my kids happy because they can still take their Xbox and their games and all those things. And when you go to Gaston's, with work being as mobile as it is these days, Gaston's is the place that you can still go and hook up to the internet, get on the computer on their fiber internet, and stay connected to the outside world as well. 870-431-5202 is their number. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. First-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, this is Bobby Carpenter with ESPN Radio, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is
on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite team. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite team. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Arkansas, 14 yards to Luke Hasz, and the Razorbacks are up 16-7.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Even, Ruskin, and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
And welcome back into the Morning Rush. Taylor Green, Braylon Russell had themselves quite a weekend. Still each given co of the week. Taylor Green wins the co-offensive player of the week. Braylon Russell wins the co-freshman of the week. Jarquez Hunter along with Taylor, and then I think it was Marcel Reed that also got it with Braylon Russell. But our trivia question involves Braylon Russell. We'll get to that coming up in just one sec.
Do you think the other side of that got co as well complains about it the way Arkansas fans do and Arkansas media does?
Death, taxes, me complaining about an Arkansas player getting a co rather than the rightful singular version of the player of the week.
Even though the other guy might have had, I don't know how you'd have better stats than Taylor Green, but anyway, we'll move on. Hey, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has 25 locations around the state. And if you're wanting to spruce up your home with maybe a little touch-up and remodel and you need to borrow some money, or maybe you're wanting to build your dream home from ground up, Farm Credit can walk you through all of the various financing options that are out there. And with rates dropping, now's the time to visit with one of the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or again, stop in any of the 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious.
There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
So Braylon Russell's 175 rushing yards is the most in a single game nationally by a freshman running back this season. Thought that was pretty impressive. Here's our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question. We do it every single Tuesday around 10:45. You have to call in order to be eligible to win a $25 gift card. 877-377-6963. He's the first Arkansas running back to rush for 175 or more yards since Darren McFadden, his freshman year. D-Mac rushed for 187 his freshman year against which opponent? 877-377-6963. Tom, if you remember, Darren was like 4th or 5th on the depth chart. Might have even been 6th, and then kind of just slowly moved up. And
if I'm remembering right, it was that Vanderbilt game. You lost, but I think it was the Vanderbilt game where he kind of broke out, and from then on he kind of established himself as he was going to be the guy. If I remember right.
That's taking me back a little bit. I don't know how yards he had against Vanderbilt, but that is luckily not the answer to this question. Christian, who we got on line 1?
Daniel from Uniontown.
Daniel, what is the answer to our CJ's trivia question? Who is the opponent that D-Mac rushed for 187 yards against back his freshman year?
Is it South Carolina?
It is South Carolina, correct. And 2 years later, he rushed for 321 in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. But Tommy, 187 yards as a true freshman. He burst on the scene like you were talking about against Vanderbilt, and I guess never looked back after that. Anytime that you are mentioned in the same breath as Darren McFadden as an Arkansas running back, you're doing something right.
Absolutely. So good for, was it Daniel from
Daniel
Uniontown?
in Uniontown.
Daniel in Uniontown gets that CJ's Trivia burger, and no better way to maybe start your game day. I guess you'd have to end your game day this week with an 11 a.m. game, but no better place than at CJ's.
No question. Yeah, Keith, I think I'm getting a chance to see Keith this week or next week. I'm excited to see him. Excited to have the best burger, fries, and shakes in all of Arkansas. You got to go all 3. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right and go all 3. We do it every single Tuesday at 10:45. CJ's Trivia. We give away one of the gift cards to both, which can be used at both locations. The Fayetteville location off Weddington and the Russellville location off Arkansas Avenue. Tommy, you sometimes get a chicken sandwich or a salad at the Fayetteville location. That's always a good.
Rarely a salad.
Rarely a salad, but more than chicken.
I did get chicken sandwich before the LSU game.
The last time you went. Whatever you get at CJ's, it's going to be fantastic. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Now, I wonder, Tommy, like, if you're Braylon Russell and you're heading into this game, I don't think – what's your thought? You think Jaquindon plays on Saturday? It sure doesn't sound like he's going to based on what Pittman said yesterday.
Didn't give you a lot of hope, but I guess when the report comes out tomorrow, he kind of previewed that yesterday with both those guys, and he said – I think if I remember, I said probable, not doubt. Or no, he said doubtful.
He said doubtful. It sounds like Rodney Hill is probable in this game on Saturday, but Jaquindon doesn't seem – which – listen, as a Texas kid, and I know it's been a while since he's been in Austin as a backup quarterback, but I would guess that game means the world to him and that he's going to do whatever he can to get on that football field. Not that he isn't trying to get on the field for Ole Miss, and I know I'm speaking for him, but I'm just going to guess based on what I know about players that get to play Texas, especially as a former team, that might be something he's trying to do.
I think players want to play regardless of opponent, but maybe some mean more than others, but yeah, I mean, particularly when your NIL future and the money you may be given depends on your availability moving forward. So the best ability is availability, and you got to be out there, no question about it. All right, we got more to get to as the week unfolds. I'm looking forward to a really great weekend of SEC football. We mentioned earlier we're going to start our day at the Stadium Shop. With Arkansas Game Day, and we'll be there. It's going to be a full day of coverage right here on ESPN Arkansas. Presented in part by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Northwest and North Central Arkansas. If you're looking for a new gig, new job with great pay and great benefits and a company with upward mobility, meaning you can get promotions and moved up and make more money as your career moves along, they have that opportunity for you at APAC. Go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Tommy, maybe we table this for tomorrow and expand on this discussion. Well, what did you think about the All-Star games being discontinued in AAA? You know more about this than I do.
Yeah, and, I think it's been coming. And, coaches and players haven't wanted to do it. Now that kids are enrolling earlier in college, I'm really surprised this hadn't happened a year or two ago. And we could dive more in that tomorrow. I got how much time? I can't see the screen. How much time we got?
45 seconds.
All right. Let me quickly tell you about Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull. They're our partners over there at Hickey and Hull Law Partners. They have 4 locations around the state to take care of you and your family. They're in Mena. They're in Little Rock. They're in Northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith. So whether you're in Benton or Benton County, they can take care of whatever the issue is, whether it's family law, divorce, custody issues, criminal or civil matters as well. 479-434-2414. 479-434-2414 or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
All right, a lot to get to on tomorrow's edition of the Morning Rush. What's Your Beef Wednesday? Hopefully they've been stewing up these last few days. We'll jump into those tomorrow. Halftime is next.
Is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen.